What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 2025 Honda Civic. This one is the sport model finished in platinum white pearl. MSRP is just $27,800. Big shout out to Flo Honda of Statesville for providing this compact car for today's video. Take a look at their website, linked down below. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Honda Civic Sport, you're going to find the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine. This is naturally aspirated, pumping out 150 horsepower with 133 pound-feet of torque. It is front-wheel drive paired to a CVT transmission with a manual shift automatic. It also weighs in around 2,900 pounds, runs on a 12.4 gallon fuel tank, and you can expect 31 miles per gallon in the city with 39 out on the highway. The overall length is 184.8 inches with a wheelbase at 107.7, width is 70.9, and height is 55.7 inches. Moving on to the styling with the 2025 Honda Civic, they did slightly update the bumper with those two sharp lines cutting to the lower portion. You can take a look at these nice LED headlights. They have a pretty good dark housing to them. It looks pretty sporty, integrated very well into the upper grille with that gray trim. The upper grille is finished off in a satin black with the Honda badge. Good openings to provide some cooling. And then down below, you're gonna get more of that plastic black for the lower grille with large openings. You have more of this black material for the front splitter, and the updated vents on the side with that sharp crease. So it definitely gives it a little bit more sporty look than 2024. Nice subtle upgrade. Can't complain with the new Honda Civic. I think overall, for an affordable compact, it's a pretty good looking car. On the hood, you're gonna get a few sharp body lines cutting towards the windshield, and it definitely comes together pretty nicely. At the side, we have a set of 18-inch wheels finished in a gloss black with a multi-spoke look, contrasting nicely against the white bodywork. Got some sharp body lines in the front fender, one sharp line cutting through the side, and then a sharp line down below. You're gonna see body colored door handles and then black for the mirror caps, more black trim surrounding all of the windows, and I like how the corner window has a cool trim design all throughout it. For the side profile of the sedan, it has a pretty proportional look, nice sharp lines all around, definitely comes together very well. And then in back, you got a nice red design for these taillights with a smoked out housing down below. All of your badging, sporty design for the upper portion of the trunk, and then some sharp lines down below with a single exhaust tip. You can also see the white color along with a little bit of plastic trim, and the design comes together nicely. Pretty good looking, affordable car for sure. Taking a look at the key fob, we got lock, unlock, remote start, trunk release button. If I go ahead and lock the car, you can just grab the door handle, it'll automatically unlock, and we can take a look at the interior. You're gonna see the fabric along with a little bit of some vinyl trim. Door panels finished off in plastic with some soft touch up above, just some plastic trim leading to the release handle, window controls, mirror controls, lock and unlock, and then fabric for the door's insert as well as your padded armrest. And then moving to the manual controls for the seats, you can see all those levers, and then you have this synthetic material for the edges with a black fabric and gray stripe. So pretty sporty design, especially for an affordable car. I do like the vinyl material for the edges. The stripe makes its way up the backrest a little bit. And then we have a nice 3-spoke design on the steering wheel with gray stitching and gloss black trim. And then now inside the 2025 Honda Civic Sport, keep my foot on the brake. We can go ahead and fire it up. All the gauges are going to turn on. And for the gauge cluster, you do have a combination of an LCD display on the left side with an analog speedo over on the right. Fuel and trip are right in the center, and then you can configure it a little bit rolling this dial. So if I go ahead and scroll this up and down, you can see a few different things that are going to pop up. If I dismiss all that, you can then see some maintenance information, safety, a few more things that will pop up, vehicle settings, customizing the display. You're able to adjust other things that you're going to see within the car. So pretty nice overall, very simple of course, but it kind of gives you everything you're going to need. Got your Honda badge right in the center, and then controls on the left side for Bluetooth and audio. We also have cruise control on the right side with distance pacing along with your lane keeping. There are some steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, stock on the right side for windshield wipers, turn signals and headlights over on the left side. And then down below we have one of your air vents along with interior dimming, then you have traction control, and then just some soft touch material across the dashboard. Has a nice material to it, and then I really like this mesh design for all the air vents with some gloss black trim throughout it. So this has the more basic screen, as you can tell, very simple. You can tap your menu icon and see a few different things. It still is touchscreen, so you're able to adjust things. You have shortcuts for phone integration, you can see that. We have radio, of course, that will pop up, media, and then a few more icons. So very simple and basic. However, it's going to give you basically what you're going to need, a few safety sensors within the car as well. If I go ahead and pop it into reverse, you're gonna get that backup camera with guidelines, and then we have a few different views to get a good idea of all that. Underneath that, we have our physical climate controls. This is not dual zone like higher trims, but we have our fan speed right in the center. On the right side is how you can adjust all your different modes: air conditioning, heated side mirrors, and the rear glass, front defroster, and then of course your temperature control. There are some extra plugs down below, a little bit of storage down below as well, and then this cool plastic textured material. We also have our drive mode select right here. We have an eco mode, you have the normal one, as well as a sport mode. So nice to see a few drive modes in this basic car. Electronic park and brake and auto start stop, some fabric material on the padded armrest, and then extra storage down below, and a cool little Easter egg gives you a nice depiction of an old school Honda. So kind of cool to see that. And then down below over here, we're gonna get our nice glove box. One last look at the interior. I think Honda's done a pretty good job, especially for the 2025 model year. This generation Civic is pretty sporty, pretty well appointed, and for the price, really hard to complain. Nice black fabric for the headliner, and then just some dome lights up above with a thin basic mirror. Moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, the door panels finish off similar to the front, a little bit harder plastics back here, than just the same basic plastic for the trim and fabric for the insert. You have the same seating materials with this vinyl material for the whole edge, and then just black fabric throughout the center, and then the center seat itself is actually finished in that same vinyl. This can seat 3 people. We do have a little thing that'll pop down for your armrest, as well as 2 cup holders, and then no real amenities, no storage or air vents or anything like that, and then the seats will pop back with the icon in the trunk. So hopping into the back seat now with the Honda Civic sedan at 5'11", honestly I sit back here pretty good. It's definitely a small car, but I still have really good headroom. Legroom with the driver's seat at my height is fantastic for my feet and everything. Armrests are all pretty good. Quite a lot of glass. I wouldn't mind some amenities like air vents or a little bit extra storage, but for a super affordable economic car, honestly 2 grown-ups can definitely fit back here pretty well. Person in the middle might be a little tight, but definitely not bad for a small car. Moving on to the trunk space, there's gonna be a button right beneath the Honda badge. We can manually pop that open, and we have a huge trunk in here for a small car. Nice and squared off, very low load floor as well. And then you can even lift up the floor, and we do have a spare tire along with the extra tools and everything like that. And then these are those pull tabs. We can pop that to unlock the seats. With them down, you can see just how much more storage space you're gonna get in the back of the Honda Civic sedan. They fold down nearly flat too for extra cargo, and the opening into the trunk is pretty large. So definitely for a small affordable car, it seems like a pretty practical vehicle as well. All right, setting off now in the Honda Civic Sport in sport mode. Taking manual control with the shiftable CVT. Kind of cool to see that. Obviously a CVT doesn't have traditional gears, however being able to shift it with the paddles will definitely help if you're going to be driving this maybe in the mountains on a trip or something. You know, pop it in sport mode, use the manual paddle shifters, and you'll be able to hold a little bit higher RPM for better power. So cool design. I doubt most people are going to use that in a car like this. So if we go into just normal mode, it's a pretty normal car to drive. Honestly, the Honda Civic is like the definition of a normal car. Insanely popular, there's millions of these out there. It is one of the go-tos for just an economy car, point A to point B. However, it's nice to see that this is a nice place to be. It's not that slow, I mean, it's certainly not fast, but without really stressing the engine, you know, 4,000 RPM, we're getting up to 40 miles an hour. So it's something you can realistically drive from the day to day. You know, if you get a car that's too slow, you're just redlining it all the time and it's just stressful. So this is peppy enough for just kind of a basic car. And when you're sitting in here, it is pretty comfortable. The seats are really supportive. I don't have any issues sitting in here. Got plenty of leg room, headroom, you know, arm room and everything. So it's a nice place to be, and I like how you're not just like sitting on the floor. There's some other cars that are in this price range where my knees get sore because I'm just too cramped feeling. In fact, that white car right there is one of them. That, super tiny. But when you're in the Civic, which isn't much more than some other competitors, you know, this is not a bad place to be. Really good visibility, easy to see around, no complaints there. And the things you touch, you know, I like the leather on the steering wheel, the shifter. It feels nice. The fabric's fine. You know, it's not exactly high quality or anything, but it's a cheap car, so really can't complain. I do like the vinyl materials on the sides. It does give it a little bit nicer of a touch. But just normal driving, it seems like a pretty fine place to be. It's not that noisy. You know, it's not a super refined car. However, when you are driving just on the road, like we're only going 25 right now, I mean, super smooth, super quiet on this road. When we turn onto the bumpier road, It's a little bit more noisy, but like highway driving and things like that, it's not going to be overbearing with just road noise and wind noise. So for an inexpensive car, it seems well insulated. We'll get up to some speed a little bit more. Like even going 45, really nothing annoying. Like I said, it's not crazy refined, but still quiet enough for your day-to-day. You'll just, you know, some background music on, you really won't notice it. Suspension's pretty comfortable too. It's absorbing bumps very well. So, I mean, if you are looking for just a generic, normal, day-to-day car, I feel like the Civic gives you everything you would need, and yet it's comfortable in here to where you don't feel like you have to hate your car if you're gonna buy something like this. There's other cars in this class that are not worth buying because they're just uncomfortable and cheap feeling. This is a nice setup. You know, this would be a fantastic first car or something like that. All right, so flipping around to my honest thoughts with this Honda Civic Sport. So more of a basic trim level car. Of course, you can get the nicer hybrids, the SIs, the Type Rs, depending on what you're looking for. So I feel like Honda has done a pretty cool job offering several different versions of the Civic, ranging from well into the $20,000 range up to nearly 50 grand, of course, with the loaded Type R. But for a generic car, you know, the Honda Civic is a dime a dozen. There's a million out there. It is such a common car, not all too special. However, when you look at this segment, you know, there's Nissan with maybe the Sentra is probably the best competitor. You have Toyota's Corolla, Hyundai's Elantra. They're all fine options. They all have a lot going for them. They're all really, really similar to where it's not like one is night and day better than the other. However, I will say when you're in the Civic, what I like the most about it is that it is exceptionally roomy. So some of those compact cars, you know, I'm 5'11", slender body type. I'm not the tallest person out there, but I am, I guess, a little bit taller than the average guy, I would say. But my legs seem to get really cramped in some of the competitor cars to where I'm just so on the floor, my knees are up like this, and if I put the seat all the way back, I can't reach the steering wheel. So I feel like the Civic seems to be a really good size where my legs are exceptionally supported by the seat. They're not sore, my knees aren't sore, you know, I can touch the pedals nicely. I'm at the perfect spot to grab the steering wheel. I just fit really comfortably. So that is the biggest thing that I'm noticing. And with a car like this, you know, you're not buying this to be a fast car, you're not buying this to be a luxury car, you're buying this for a commuter car to get places. This is basic transportation. However, the more comfortable you are, the better it's gonna feel. And if you are buying a car that is more of a point A to point B car, the more comfortable you are, I think the better the car is gonna feel to you. And when I'm in this car, I could just drive this and drive this. If I had a job where I was commuting a ton of miles, just racking it up, needed something cheap and economical, you know, the Civic's a good way to go. You know, the Toyota Camry is something I've driven quite a lot of. That's a next step up in price is this. However, if you want to save a lot more money, you know, this is a good amount cheaper, a good maybe like $8,000 less. So for this category of car, you know, 27 grand, this is gonna be under 30 out the door. I don't think you can really complain. Pretty much on par with a Toyota Corolla. And of course the Camry is in par with the Honda Accord if you wanted to step it up to a next size. But at this size category, price category, I don't think there's many complaints. The screen is ultra basic, I will say. It's hardly a thing you really even look at. You just, I guess, plug in your phone. I don't know if there's even wireless anything. There's no wireless charging or anything like that. So kind of basic. You have your radio and that is about it. I guess Bluetooth audio could pop up. But to some people, that's all you need. You know, not everybody wants all the fanciest things out there. So road noise and wind noise, like we touched base on a little bit, you can hear it, but I don't know, I think you kind of forgive it given the price point, and if there was some music on, I don't think you'd really notice it that bad. And this is kind of a bad road, so a smooth highway, it's gonna be pretty smooth and pretty comfortable. So I think put the Honda Civic on your list. You know, I think it really does have a lot going for it at the price point. A lot of cars in this category. I think pretty much every single brand makes something like this, a small economy car. But I'd say this is up there with the top. The Corolla is also a really good option too. Hyundai's Elantra is pretty good. Nissan Sentra, I feel a little cramped in my knees. Just, I don't know how they do their seats, but my knees are cramped in that car. But this one is the biggest thing I noticed. I just fit nice and comfortable. But that is it for the review. 2025 Honda Civic Sport, finished in the nice pearl white. Affordable car, great option for sure for the day-to-day. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for plenty more content to come. And then a big shout out once again to Flow Honda of Statesville for providing this 2025 Civic for today's video. Take a look at their website, link down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.